Hello, everybody. Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, here with you for the Weekend Big Show, powered by Law Dog Sports, as we do every Friday at 9 a.m. Central Daylight Standard Time. Probably too many acronyms I've added into that, but it is a wonderful Friday where I'm at in western Oklahoma in the 580, as we have had some rain overnight and potentially on our way to get some more, and I will take all that I can. And Jeremy Schroeder, my partner on the regular here on the Weekend Big Show, powered by Law Dog Sports, joining. And Jeremy, I tell you what, it's been so dang hot. I played golf on Monday, had a chance yesterday, and just had to say, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to bail.
It was oppressively hot yesterday. We went outside a couple of times, and no, back inside.
Yeah.
No thanks.
And then last night we stepped out for a little bit to meet with some friends down in Dubtown, and I tell you, it was just. Normally, I kind of fret and worry about, I don't want to roll in someplace with a little bit of BO or something like that. Last night, I knew it was just a lost cause. You guys are lucky to have me here. So, anyways, that's kind of how things.
You step up to the degree antiperspirant there, Chuck.
That is correct. And so, basically, it's just one of those things where we do have a little bit of a respite here in western Oklahoma. But we are streaming to you live here from the air-conditioned Ramsey Broadcasting Studios, and we are on Facebook Live here on the Law Dog Sports page. If you catch a bit of this and you don't want to watch it on Facebook with our ugly mugs, you can – well, actually, Jeremy's the oily bohunk of the crowd. But you can go to lawdogsports.com and find all of our social media feeds. You can listen without the audio on SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon Podcast, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you want to see the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Law Dog Sports. And also, if you go to the website, you can leave us a message, and we will read that on the show. And as I mentioned, we are on all of these social media platforms. So, Jeremy, football started up this week. They're hitting in Norman. They're hitting in Stillwater and all over the country and out there in the heat themselves. But I tell you what, Jeremy, it's one of those things where there's so much split coverage now with regards to SEC, Big 12, American Athletic. I mean, if you follow any of the area teams, even into the D2 regions, man, you could be following, 20 different Twitter feeds.
It's just one of those, another day that I'm grateful I don't live in Texas, where I think we could probably still count all the schools locally, well, in the state on two hands.
Yeah.
Maybe have to kick one shoe off, but those people down there, they got hundreds.
Exactly. Well, I tell you, one of the schools that gets covered formerly by myself and then now on another by another sportscaster is Southwestern Oklahoma State University, and the Bulldogs have a new head coach here in Weatherford. Andrew Rice comes from, I believe, Arkadelphia. No, I forget where. There's so many Arkansas.
That's not a real place.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and welcome in our guest today, Jeremy. His name is Luke Clement, and he actually succeeded me as the sports director assistant to the sports director assistant, I think is what it is. And Luke Clement.
How's it going, guys? Thanks for having me.
We're glad to have you, Luke, and hope you're doing okay. Hope you got your morning sports all done and ready to get that afternoon sports. How's things going for you?
It's going good. I'm really enjoying it. Last week, I started doing them live, so I've been having a lot of fun bannering with Mark and Harold and John on the Coyote.
Yeah.
It's been a really good time.
Yeah. 95.5, the Coyote in Weatherford and Clinton area in Western Oklahoma, really covers all of Western Oklahoma, has their sports at 8:50 or 7:50 each weekday morning. And it is a fun time to go on with John, and which now you've got Val the Gal, and then formerly it had been Van. of the Van and John show. Vanessa is actually, her and her husband Bobby are actually the ones we met last night for a little visit and some cocktails. But it is a fun time. You just got to watch out for John Matthews, Luke, because he will loop you into a kerfuffle that you'll be like, how did I get here? But no, he's John's one of the best, and I love that
Yeah.
guy. He's
It was a
really
good time for sure.
He's really been outstanding on the golf course. He carried our scramble back in June, and so he's feeling it lately. But so tell us about yourself, Luke. Where do you come from, and what's been going on, and kind of what you've been working towards.
I come from Minco, Oklahoma, born and raised there, graduated high school there. I'm a senior now here at SWOSU. Been here for this is my third year at SWOSU. Yeah. Been with the radio station it'll be 2 years in October.
Yeah.
Started out doing the news, upgraded to camera work. Then finally last year, I got the chance to do some play-by-play with Hydro and sideline reporting for SWOSU.
Yeah.
But I'm doing mass communication in school. So I really want to do sports radio or broadcasting, something along the lines that I'm already doing. So really great opportunity that I have here doing exactly what I want to do when I want to get out of school.
Yeah. And really the job that I, stepped away from to, which opened up that opportunity for you, which I think you're doing it much better than I did. But it's kind of geared for young guys. I mean, it's some of those days, Jeremy, I would be
I think we're glossing over the fact that he just said he's a senior in his third year of college.
Well, and that's where I was going to go because Luke came to the station when I was working there full time, and they were going to be him and another student were going to be the weekend people that read news and sports on the Saturday morning broadcast. And had you finished a year at that time?
No, that was my freshman year. I think that was my first semester, actually.
That hasn't been that long ago. So,
were you doing a lot of concurrent classes when you were in high school?
I did. I took concurrent classes my junior and senior year. Yeah.
My daughter's doing the same thing right now. So,
it helps out a lot. It helps out a lot.
Wow. I could have used help like that in college.
I don't think we had that opportunity back
then. Expediting my time on campus would have behooved itself to my degree performance. But so you're a full-time student and you're working there at the station as well. And are you going to be venturing into more play-by-play this fall, or how's that going to work for you?
I am doing play-by-play for Watonga football this fall. The Eagles, yes. Still sticking with SWOSU sideline reporting, but very excited to be able to do play-by-play football. Football is by far my favorite sport, and I'm stoked to be in the press box.
Well, and Jeremy, one thing about Luke, and he's going into, I believe, his second season as the SWOSU football sideline reporter, is you get to go to wonderful places like Arkadelphia, Arkansas, and
that's not a real
Monticello,
place.
Arkansas, beautiful place.
Is it pretty down there? I've never been there.
Monticello it's very, very wooded, very forestry, but the town itself is kind of so.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. And Weatherford, where I do my play-by-play, has got a kid going to play soccer at Ouachita Baptist, and he said he loves it. I was like, oh, enjoy it. And probably he's a kid that would stay closer to home, if there were a D2 soccer program for men.
We'll go to Arkadelphia twice this year for Ouachita and Henderson State.
Oh, so 2 trips there. And so how are you going to navigate that with Friday night football? And then are they evening games that you can are you going to drive overnight or what?
I'll ride with Mike. That's what we did last year anyways. I just rode with Mike. But there was definitely some early mornings last fall.
He's a young guy, Chuck.
Yeah.
I recall leaving at 3 or 4 a couple times. So it's going to be fun when I have to go to Hooker or something for a Watonga game and get back and leave early morning to go to Saturday.
Yeah, that's going to be a lot. You might as well just go sleep on Heston Wright's couch there in the office.
He's a young guy, Chuck. He doesn't require that much rest.
No.
Sleep when you're dead, right?
Or when you're our age.
Yeah. If if you want to try to contact me between the hours of 4 and 7 on any given weekday, you're out of luck because I crashed on the recliner. We're visiting with Luke Clement from Wright Media Sports, and he is the sports guy there at Wright Media and doing a great job there. And so you're covering a lot of you started kind of once football and basketball were over, and then there's a lot of soccer, slow pitch softball, track and field, things like that. And then the summer is a bunch of camps and things, but it's getting ready to fire up for you because football in Western Oklahoma is pretty meaningful. And I tell you, it's fun to go by some of the high school programs. I went by Weatherford yesterday and saw the guys finishing out Iron Eagle, and it's going to be a great season in Western Oklahoma for football. But you've got some divisional things going on now, and with your Watonga play-by-play, you've got to keep up with 2 different Class A divisions, and then you'll be covering the 4A schools in the region. So have you got a pigskin preview yet?
I do not have a pigskin preview. I need to go
Guess
find
what?
one of those.
I'm going to bring you one today, Pally.
Oh my goodness.
Mark Rogers and Austin Chadwick accidentally sent me 2, and I don't want to pay postage to send it back, so I'm going to bring you the second one that I have. So
thank you very much.
Merry Christmas. Don't
Thank
ever
you,
think a law dog's not generous. So so yeah, it's just a lot of coverage, but that's the great thing about the internet. That's the great thing about Zoom calls and things like that. And then it's going to be a big year in Class 4A because I know that Clinton and Weatherford have big expectations this season. Elk City has been also, and then Elgin comes into the district after they just reeled off a 1-loss season in Class 5A last season. But there's a lot of I saw a lot of Elgin kids on the SWASU recruiting roster.
Yes.
This last year. So talk about, have you had some interaction with the new coach Andrew Rice there at SWASU so far?
I have not had any interaction with Coach Andrew Rice. Mike does most of the interviews with him, but hopefully get to talk to him once fall camp rounds out and before season starts.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing the sports, and so you always have that need to kind of establish a relationship with those coaches. So I understand that, but it's one of those things too where SWASU, Southwestern Oklahoma State University, for anybody listening that may not be clear on that, you've got basically a volleyball program that's going to kick off. That they have big expectations every year, and they've got a lot of returning talent, and then next thing you know, basketball's right there around soccer at Southwest.
Track and field's about to start up for SWASU as well.
Yeah, they do track and field.
Cross country.
Yeah. So cross country, and then but the soccer program at Southwestern is always competitive and always in the runnings in the Great American Conference. So you're going to have your hands full, but I tell you, you live on campus, or are you there around the area?
I'm right off campus. I'm a corner. If I can pull down 7th Street and look across the corner of Davis and see the football field, I'm right there.
There you go. Luke, what are your goals for your broadcasting and sports career?
That's a good question. I would love to do college play-by-play one day or something like I love listening to the Sports Animal, and I credit that for really getting me into radio. I think it'd be really cool to do something like that, sit there with the best of the best and just do what we love to do, talk sports.
Yeah, and and Jeremy's supposed to be engineering us a visit with Mike Steely, who's now on the or is that on me? I'm not sure.
That was on you.
That's on me. You're supposed to get us Steve Owens, right?
Yes.
Okay.
We're
working on those, but that's exactly the thing is the reason Jeremy and I started this whole program back in 2018 is we realized we just liked sitting around talking sports with each other back at my former employ. And then also, I mean, I drove around in a car for so many years listening to sports. I mean, I rarely listened to music. It was sports radio throughout a whole shift, basically. And so it's just fun, and it's radio. While radio is taking a hit in some areas with the proliferation of streaming and playlists and platforms that just let you listen to your music without listening to somebody talk, sports radio has carried on, and that is the one facet of radio that's had any growth. So it's a big goal, and the thing about it is one thing I've noticed in sports radio is it sure helps if you're a personality, or if you have, or a former athlete, or if you have a former athlete right there on your on your billing. So and it doesn't matter how good or bad you are sometimes, I think. But the thing is they always have to have people who are just going to bring the common man's viewpoint, not just the athlete's viewpoint. So that's big. I would say, a guy like you, I couldn't see how, 2 or 3 years experience doing play-by-play, at the high school level or whatever, that you couldn't start putting your radar out and maybe find you a D2 or something like that. So are you up to traveling?
I one of my favorite things about the profession I want to get into is if I were to be the voice of a team, I could travel with them and see the country. I want to see more. I've been in Oklahoma my whole life. I don't really bank on staying here too long after graduation. So I would love to travel.
Sure. We're visiting with Luke Clement, the sports director. I'm just going to call you sports director because I always thought it was stupid that the guy who does all the sports isn't called the sports director there. So sports director at Wright Media, and they have a lot of channels and a lot of sports. 97.3 The Score is their sports talk network on air. And then also they do broadcasts for Weatherford Eagles, Clinton Red Tornadoes, Sayre Eagles, Watonga Eagles, and Hydro Eagley Bobcats, as well as the Thomas Terriers, who this year, Luke, are in that Division II of Class A, and that has they were going to be good and competitive regardless, but without having to compete with Fairview, Hooker, and Cashin and some of those, the Terriers are looking at a big season and an extended playoff run. So a lot of great stuff going on there. So, so what's the big plans? You'll be doing play-by-play on Fridays and then traveling to SWOSU for sideline reporting on Saturdays. What's your Sundays going to consist of?
Probably a big old fat nap as soon as I get home. Some relaxation.
Yeah.
Get
And
ready for.
Are you an OSU fan or an OU fan?
I'm an OSU fan.
OSU fan. Okay.
Go Pokes.
Okay. So what's your viewpoint on this Big 12 outlook? I mean, everybody's kind of crowning the Pokes without them having even faced Utah yet.
You say they're definitely Utah and Oklahoma State are the favorites. They're going to find out who's the better one. First Big 12 game of the year is Oklahoma State and Utah. I think it's going to tell us a lot. Oklahoma State has a very tough non-conference schedule, though. They have South Dakota State, and then they have Arkansas at home as well. So they got two big games that they're going to have to prove themselves at.
Connor Carr is our super fan. That's also a huge Woo Pig Suey fan. So I'm sure he's going to be tuned in for that. But, you're exactly right. This is a very experienced and talented OSU team, maybe one of their better teams since that 2011 team that really probably should have been in a playoff situation back then with Brandon Whedon and Justin Blackman. But
Cyclones.
Yeah, that was a bad deal for them. And I saw an article this week, Jeremy, that actually kind of gave that season credit for really getting the playoff talk going because there were so many teams. That was the year that LSU and Alabama faced a second time, if I remember right.
Yes, LSU, didn't they beat Alabama in overtime in the regular season with McFadden?
I believe so.
Was that it? Yeah.
McFadden.
Was that Darren McFadden?
He was Arkansas.
Oh, yeah, he's Arkansas. Arkansas? Who did Arkansas beat? LSU? Was that season? Was that the Les Miles we never lost in regulation? Was that year?
That could have been. Oh no, I thought that was a year where they missed the playoffs.
Or they missed BCS.
But the year that they beat Alabama, and then Alabama came back and beat them in the BCS championship. But
Okay.
There's a lot of people that say that season with OSU having one loss and missing out on the BCS Bowl, and then that was the year that LSU and Bama played to like a 9-3 tie. I think it was nine.
Okay.
It was single digit scoring practically.
Okay. Yeah, that was okay. That was, and then Alabama beat them 21-0 in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah. I can't even remember who the LSU quarterback was, but that was a year that it would have been, huh?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Would have been Flynn? No, he went.
I'm looking at it right now. It's Zach Mettenberger.
Mettenberger. Okay. So, anyways, that was a year that OSU was really kind of left out in the cold because of that one loss in Ames, and that was right on the heels of a tragedy within their program. But it was a heck of a team. But this year, I would say, when you've got a quarterback that's nearing 30, you've got a lot of experience and savvy on your team. So that's always a good thing. And I say that jokingly because Jeremy and I, Luke, have always been Bowman fans. We watched him a lot at Tech and when we used to be on the radio in Texas. But it's going to be an interesting season, and the Pokes are looking for big things. And really, I mean, who's to say that the Big 12 couldn't get 2 playoff teams this year? I mean, we're talking 12. A conference champion that maybe, if you had a situation where the regular season went one way and the conference went to the loser, that I don't know, but it will be interesting. But Luke, what's on tap for your weekend now? You got some stories to put together, I'm sure, and get ready for Monday, right?
Get ready for Monday. Make sure stuff is ready to go for tomorrow morning. I'm playing on a co-ed softball team this fall, so I got practice on Sunday.
Practice now, is this through the school? Is this a school intramural deal or what?
No, there's a Lokiba Sickles is doing a fundraiser tournament, and a bunch of people from around where I grew up are getting a team together.
Okay, well that's pretty cool. So
Yeah,
Minko to Lukiba is what, about 45 minutes?
yeah, just outside of Binger, probably 40 minutes.
Jeremy, have you ever driven Highway 152 from Minko to say like Binger?
I don't recall.
You would be surprised to drive it and realize that you're in western Oklahoma. I mean, it's got like valleys and trees. I mean,
20-foot red rock walls on both sides.
Big cliff.
So it's like the southern part of the state.
Yeah, a little bit, but a little greener, actually. We
Okay.
drove it one time just so I could avoid the construction on I-40, which actually tacked on 45 extra minutes to our trip. But hey, but anyway.
Careful driving from Binger to Minko on 152. It gets pretty curvy.
Yeah, it was curvy and it was a neat deal. I thought this is not what I expected down through here. So, well, listen, Luke, we're gonna let you get back to your gig, and great job on the sports, dude. You're really killing it, and I appreciate you stepping up and taking over after I had to step away. And if people want to follow the station or your sports, I guess it's at Western Oklahoma Sports.
They're on Twitter, Western Oklahoma Sports on Twitter, 97.3 The Score on Facebook, 750 and 530 on the Coyote, and about the same time on 99.3 KCLI. And once football starts, you can hear me on Watauga Eagles TV for the Eagles Saturdays with the Bulldogs. And then basketball season, I'll be with the Hydro Weekly Bobcats.
Has Mike Smith turned you into a degenerate gambler yet on those Arkansas trips?
There's been a couple times we've stopped in there, but I've turned them down a couple times as well.
I hate losing money whatsoever. I can plug $10 into a slot, and if I lose, I'm just like, dang it, I could have bought a burger with that.
The rest of the trip.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Luke, thanks for joining us, man, and we appreciate what you do there at Wright Media, and good luck to you this season, and I hope you have a great season with Watauga Eagles football.
Yes, thank you, guys. Thank you for having me.
No problem. He's Luke Clement from Wright Media Sports joining us here on the program, and a great kid, Jeremy. He came in when I was still working there full time and was wanting to get into the radio part of it, and and they had already done some YouTube segments with some of the SWASU athletic stuff, but a great kid, and we have a lot of fun with him. I'm not seeing us having any viewers, and that seems kind of odd. There's Dan Narva. Thank you.
It says you and three others. Actually, there's
Okay,
there's
so
a
there
few.
is somebody
There's a few
there.
on there.
My Facebook monitor, I guess you could say, is not shut every time. Every time I try to, I don't know what's going on. So, anyways, let's get back into it. And like
Marty's here.
Marty Wandry.
Yep.
Yeah, Marty recovering from some stuff there for him, and we're prayers for him and a speedy recovery. Dan Narva, go Pokes, like them back in kidhood. So yeah, I mean, here's the thing, and I mean, I don't know how far back Dan's talking because he ages in reverse, but
Sure.
anyways, I can still remember the Jimmy Johnson Bluebonnet Bowl year. That's kind of the first year I knew anything about OSU football. So I would have been probably just starting junior high, maybe.
Was that 1982?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't really aware of Oklahoma State then.
No.
I think I was 6 or 7.
Yeah, OU was on my radar earlier than that. And I think really,
Sure.
Jeremy, not just my dad at the time watching a lot of OU, but I remember hearing some of the games and just keyed in on a guy named Elvis Peacock. And I just thought,
Yeah, because that's like one of the greatest names ever.
your name's Elvis Peacock. You got to be great. So,
Sure.
But anyways, Dan Narva, Barry, Thurman, and Thomas. Yeah. So, Thurman.
Those Pat Jones years were fun up there. They weren't always great, but they had some exciting offenses with those running backs.
Oh yeah.
Who was a kid after Barry? Led the nation in rushing. Didn't really do much after that.
Oh Lord. That's a good question.
Well, Hartley Dykes up there, put like 9 programs on.
Nathan Simmons.
I can't stand you.
All right. So, hey, we put a question out yesterday when we were promoting today's show. And if you had to start a defense with any OU linebacker since 2000, who would it be? And real quickly, Marty Wandry and I think Max Patton got on Teddy Lehman quickly. That's a great selection. I mean, Teddy was a Butkus Award winner. He caught the Superman interception, or did Rocky catch that?
No, it was Teddy.
Teddy.
You can't go wrong.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with Teddy.
Marty Wandry saying Torrance Marshall, that was a big middle linebacker to get that defense really some teeth in 2000.
I mean, who had a bigger moment than that interception against Texas A&M?
That was a big one.
Or the interception in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah. Kalmus, I kind of default to Kalmus just because he really did transition the two coaching eras.
Yeah. He was that
John
first
Blake.
Butkus winner. Yeah, he did play under John Blake.
Yeah.
And he did win that Butkus, and he was an All-American.
I don't think he had near the talent around him that Teddy did.
Yeah, Kelly Gregg, who might have been the guy, Martin Chase. Martin Chase. He probably wasn't still there.
Thinking of the 2000 defensive line, you had Corey.
Oh man, Corey Heineke.
Those and the great players, but they were
Jeremy Wilson Guest.
Ooh, yeah, I forgot about him. But to me, Rocky had more on his shoulders during his time at OU than what Teddy did. Teddy had some big defensive linemen up in front of him.
There were guys you talked about Wilkerson, Cody, just some dudes. Tommy Harris, Dusty, just some dudes, some big dudes sucking up blockers. But yeah, Teddy was really good though.
Yeah. And then he left in the 2003 after the 2003 season, and then in 04, I think everybody thought it would be some plug and play guys, but it really wasn't. The 04 team.
Yeah, like Tom Ward, Gayron Allen, Ryan Reynolds,
Lance
Mitchell. Lance Mitchell was a good player.
He was
You
good.
know,
He was kind of the rock of some of those 04, 05
hey,
teams.
they had Tony Jefferson playing in that hybrid role too, playing
Tony
that.
was a head knocker and
They
really,
call it the cheetah now, but yeah, he
yeah.
played that Roy back, which is just a small linebacker running around the field making plays everywhere.
But as far as linebackers go, and Danny Stutzman's in the conversation now. I mean, and a lot of what he does this season will help promote people's viewpoint of him.
Kenneth Murray.
Oh, K9.
I mean, he was good on a really bad defense.
He was, and you look back, and man, if he just grabs hold of one or two Nick Chubb rushes in that Rose Bowl.
I mean, Clint Ingram was a daggum good player.
He was.
Man,
Lewis
we were
Baker
talking.
was always one that everybody was just banking on to step up and be
You
huge.
know what? They were banking on him putting on 10 pounds. He never did.
Well, he never could. He stayed a string bean through his whole career.
Yeah.
But since 2000, obviously, linebacker play was emphasized because Brent Venables was key in so many of those defenses. And then some great secondary players as well. So you loop Tony Jefferson in with the linebackers because
he played the cheetah.
he's
He
listed as
was
a safety.
Yeah, he played that. He played that cheetah position that Roy created.
Yeah.
But they created for, I guess Ante Jones was the first to play that position, and then Roy Williams, and then who was right after Roy? Dante Nicholson, Eric Bassey.
Bassey, yeah. Wait, Bassey was pure safety. They might have.
But they rolled him over there.
Sure. Forgotten linebackers. Who was the guy that was like the Sam linebacker on those 02, 03?
Pasha.
Pasha Jackson.
Pasha Jackson. Yes.
Now, no, I'm thinking of someone
Pasha
else
Jackson.
before him. Brandon.
Brandon Moore.
Brandon Moore.
I think he was there before the Stoops bunch, wasn't he?
He played for them. He was. I know he was on the 2000 and the 2001 team.
See, in the Stoops Venables defense, you're only really going to have two quote unquote linebackers on the field at a time.
Yeah.
Your Sam and your Mike and your Will.
Exactly.
Your Sam backer, he didn't play much, and that was Pasha. That was Brandon Moore.
Yeah,
it's
Brandon Moore.
It's a weird deal.
Brandon Moore actually had a pretty nice cup of coffee in the league. I mean, he
we did
rosters for a while.
He did. He played for the Jets. He played for the Cards. And we did not mention Curtis Lofton, who was a hell of a player.
Curtis Lofton was humongous. And how early did Curtis Lofton leave?
He was 2007.
That was his last season.
Yeah, and Zach Latimer was right before him. He was a good player.
Yeah. Colorado kid?
Yep. I think so.
I would have liked to have had Curtis Lofton on that 08 team.
That
he would have gone a long ways to helping against Florida.
Well, I don't. They gave up 27 points to a damn good team with a Heisman winning quarterback. Now, if they could just punch the ball inside the 1 yard line,
that DeMarco Murray was kind of the missing piece on that.
Yeah.
So linebackers at OU have been plentiful over the years, and Ryan Reynolds, and then also rest in peace Austin Box, who didn't get to see quite his potential, but I think people realize I'll tell you this, after his passing, I think people realized on the field the impact he made, because he was kid out of Enid that really came in there and played really well.
Yeah, Travis Lewis.
I'd forgotten
when
about
remember when he broke EJ Manuel in the Florida State game?
Yeah, he did. What about Jordan?
Jordan Evans?
Jordan Evans.
Good player on some bad defense.
Terrible defense, good player.
Mm-hmm. Played in the NFL for a while.
And really, if you look at it, was it 2016 that they had the shootout with Tech and Mahomes?
Yeah,
Okay.
It was.
So that was a pivotal game, because even as bad as that defense was all season long, they did kind of turn some things around. And I remember reading an article about Jordan Evans' dad just just blistering him about his
Mhm.
play in that game, and he actually did up his game, and they actually did. Now they didn't face Mahomes again that season, but
Oh.
you know what I mean. It was a it was a situation where after that Jordan Evans, I thought, turned around, and if I remember right, 2016, they had a pretty salty defense there at the end, playing Auburn in the Sugar Bowl, the last
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the last BCS bowl that they or New Year's Six bowl or whatever you want to call it that they won.
Yeah, it was that's New Year's Six Bowl, right? That was
It was
during the
Sugar Bowl
playoff
against
era, right?
Auburn.
Yes.
It wasn't playoff. They had lost 2,
Yeah.
and that was the year they lost to Houston and Ohio State. So
Yes.
anyway, so a lot of great linebackers. I kind of default to Calmus, as I mentioned. Let's see, Connor Carr, Kenneth Murray might be the most underappreciated linebacker. Dude was a stud, and I'm not an OU fan. He's right. I mean, and
He was a great player on a bad team.
Yeah, the way you know that is how you feel once he leaves the program. Like,
Man.
oh, no,
oh no.
See, how do I look at these comments without scrolling to the next video? That's kind of where I'm at right now. I want to see Van and John's video. So, like I said, I default to Calmus strictly because he was the first Butkus Award winner out of that. Teddy probably was the better linebacker. I mean, as far as tangibles.
Oh yeah. Side to side, running the field, he was better. But Rocky was just a football guy,
Rocky played that last part of the '99 season with a broken leg and shooting it up, So
yeah.
He didn't want to miss Bedlam that year.
No, he did not.
Well, Jeremy, I tell you, talking all this football and OU, and we can rouse this topic up a lot for even not just OU, but we can do OSU, we can do some Tech even, but really it's always fun to think about the last 25 years and who, and I love the fact that you brought up Ante Jones because he. In the '98 Rex Ryan defense, he's a Sam linebacker, or
he's just a pass rusher.
He's just a blitzer, and
like striker.
And he was huge in that 2000, especially the Florida State game. And that kid, I hope he's doing okay right now because he hit hard.
He brought the lumber, and he weighed 175 pounds.
Oh yeah, he was tiny. he was a hitting machine. Back on college football, I'm looking at an article here on Yahoo Sports by Nick Bromberg, a senior writer for Yahoo Sports, and I'm looking at the quarterback transfers that people are looking at to make impacts this season. And Dan Narva will appreciate this. Aiden Childs at Michigan State, playing for Sparty after transferring from Oregon State, after the coach also transferred from Oregon State.
Was he the really highly rated kid they ended up with?
He was. I think he was at one time a 4 or 5 star quarterback. But he comes to East Lansing from Corvallis, Oregon, and he's kind of their favorite to start. We'll see about that. But one thing, when we were talking about OSU with Luke Clement, was I heard Dave Aranda in the media this week saying, people want to discount us at their nobody's talking Baylor in the Big 12.
No, they're not. And that's a dangerous situation.
It really is. And it probably wouldn't take a lot for him to string together a comeback season, so to speak. But he's got a transfer quarterback in from Toledo, DeQuan Finn, who was the MAC player of the year.
Oh, wow.
Last season, 2,600 yards and 22 touchdowns, and rushed for 563 and scored on 7.
I've seen him play. He's really good.
So
get that Tuesday night action, pal.
Action.
That's taking the place of Pac-12 After Dark for me.
Oh man, I'm going to miss Pac-12 After Dark, and particularly
Akron Toledo on a Tuesday and nothing better.
Oh yeah. Just give me those
Miami Redhawks.
Give me some Ball State versus Kent. No, it's just
Yes,
that's just where life's supposed to be.
sure.
But it's one of those things, Jeremy, where I look at it and I say, man, I really enjoyed, um, especially when Dusty would do the Friday night Pac-12 after dark, because it did not interfere with Friday night high school football because it wasn't
Oh,
going on until 9:30 or 10.
yeah, man, it's so great.
It
And
was.
of course, we've blown up West Coast football because no one on the West Coast gives a rip about it, except maybe those folks up in Seattle and
Yeah.
Oregon. But
Yeah.
man,
Who cares?
Good job, LA.
Dan
Ruin
Narvis
just
says,
California ruining everything again.
"Oh, I." Dan Narvis says Childs, he thinks was from LA, so there were rumblings he'd go to USC or UCLA, but stuck with his recruiting coach. So, and therein lies the thing, Jeremy. Oregon State was a burr under the saddle of the bigger programs in the Pac-12. They could be a real irritant.
But they have some tradition, and it's just garbage that they got left out. Same with Washington State.
Oh
That's a
yeah.
team that's won the Pac-12,
Mm-hmm.
that's gone to the Rose Bowl. I mean, as recently as 2003,
Sure.
and nothing, no love, no conference love. They're just stuck.
A couple of quarterback transfers. Looking at it, the kid from Duke that had such a big season there goes to Notre Dame. Riley Leonard, Max Johnson goes to North Carolina from Texas A&M. Which brings up, and I hate to jump around too bad, but I mean college football has so much to jump on.
It's
But
the name of the game now.
yeah, exactly. Do you feel like, and I'm asking this maybe rhetorically, but do you feel like some of these quarterbacks that are injected into playoff contending teams really will? I mean, like Dylan Gabriel is a great quarterback. I think he has a lot of talent, a lot of leadership. Did great things at Central Florida. It really had two great seasons at OU. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's stepping into his third program in
And it's yeah, I know, and I think he'll do fine up there just because it's such a. I mean, they made Bo Nix look really good
sure.
in that offense, and I think Dylan's probably a little better quarter, not physically, but as far as pure quarterbacking, cerebrally, and accuracy, he's probably a little better than Bo Nix.
Yeah.
I,
Well,
I,
and
I don't know. It's tough. It's he's learning a new offense for the first time in the 16 years he's been in college, so it could be tough for him. But
yeah.
I don't foresee that.
I see all these portal transfers for quarterbacks, and like KJ Jefferson, I could see him benefiting from being in the Gus Malzahn offense.
Oh,
Sure.
Gus Malzahn offense was just built for him.
Exactly. So, but like, are you
Sorry, Connor.
are you real confident that Will Howard's going to go to Ohio State and step in and I mean, what?
I don't get the Will. I think Will Howard could be a fantastic quarterback in a good system with playmakers around him. It's like I guess anybody else, but I never thought he lacked any talent, especially when in a freshman and you're playing at Kansas State and you're doing the things he did there.
Yeah.
I think he'll do well.
Yeah. 2023 stats, 2,600 yards and 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. I mean, anytime that a coach wants to go to some little wildcat back quarterback and get you off the field, I'm not going to bank on you really going in and being a gunslinger, even at a big.
Are we still talking about Will Howard?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Wait, who are you talking about?
Who are you talking about? I was talking about Will Howard going to Ohio State.
That's what I mean. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. He played in 12 games in 2023, it says. 2,600 yards passing, 24 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. But they were so ready to go to Avery Johnson. I mean,
I know.
They wanted to get
I know.
there bad, and it's like so basically, Ohio State's taking in the guy that K-State wasn't really, I don't know.
Does Ohio State have a problem recruiting quarterbacks? Is that what we're saying now?
Cord is.
I mean, ever since CJ Stroud has just been.
Yeah. I
Who was
mean,
the kid they had last year? They ended up at Syracuse.
McCord, Kyle McCord.
Kyle McCord.
Yeah,
So they think, I don't know, hair dye guy has a good eye for talent.
hair dye
Quarterback.
guy.
If he thinks he can do it, then I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I mean, Justin Fields was there, Stroud was there. Both, Stroud's really good,
Yeah, he
and they
proved
are
out.
just loaded everywhere. All he's got to do is get in there and not screw it up, and not he can manage that team to 12-0 this year.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting, and especially when you're talking about quarterback transfers going to assumed playoff contenders, and basically everybody's got Oregon and Ohio State at the top of the Big Ten. Michigan might have something to say about that, but it's hard to say. But and everything I've seen has Oregon and Ohio State, as likely playoff teams.
Dan, I'm pretty sure it was Will Howard transferred in there first, and then they went after. Then Chip Kelly came over after he slow played UCLA.
Yeah,
all those months.
Which brings up another topic that I kind of wanted to touch on, and we'll have to hit it quickly because there's some other things I want to gripe about. Is it Big Game Boomer that does the poll?
Oh man, you're falling for
Was
his
that an
schlock again.
ESPN?
No, that's Big Game Boomer.
Okay. Colin Klein in the top 5 or 6 of quarterback coaches listed in the country. Is that? I guess that's because of everything he did with Will Howard.
I don't know. He's at Texas A&M now, right?
This is his first.
This will be his first season. Okay. Yeah, maybe. You're getting good quarterback play at a place like Kansas State.
Yeah, Conard's already chipped in that list left off Bobby Petrino, which he's not wrong.
Yeah, we'll see. He didn't do much with those quarterbacks at Texas A&M last year, now did he? Conard, did he? Conard, did he? Did he? I mean, those were 5-star guys that got paid a lot of good Yankee dollars to come in there and play football at Texas A&M.
I'm telling you, since Kyler Murray left the program down there at College Station, I mean,
But Kenny Trill.
Kellen Mond was, Kenny Hill. That you talk about a guy. He started out at TCU, didn't he? Or no, he ended at TCU.
No, he ended at TCU. He
started
was there
at
after. Yeah.
Was he the starter in 2018 or 2017 Big 12?
Connor Lamar was going to win a Heisman wherever he went. I could have coached him to that Heisman. Stop it. It's not a playoff game. He's great.
But nobody's going to dispute Bobby Petrino's offensive mind. I mean,
he's a good offensive coach. I just like to give Connor a hard time because he's.
Well, he's got a big task in Fayetteville this year, and as Luke mentioned, they've got a big game against the Pokes.
Yeah, it's early enough in the season, though. Mike Gundy might not have everyone's attention or realize the season's even started yet.
He may not have his.
I did notice that he mentioned that South Dakota State was a big game.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of those humongous FCS programs.
Is South Dakota, or are we thinking of North Dakota State?
They're both.
Okay.
I think they're like 1A and 1B in.
Yeah, I guess Gundy's going through his Matt Campbell phase where they're going to drop an FCS game right at the beginning of the season every year, and then
you would hate to
turn it around.
So the Big Game Boomer Twitter page, which they're blue checked, which I'm blue checked now too. So, anyways, top 50 quarterback coaches in college football. They list Chip Kelly as number 1, Will Stein number 2, Joe Sloan Will Stein from Oregon, Willie Korn from Liberty number 4, and then Colin Klein was actually number 8. But one list
right in front of Seth Luttrell.
Yeah. Jim Zabrowski at Kansas. You got to say Kansas quarterback play is exponentially better.
Now, I know he's not on this list because he's a head coach, but Conrad, I'm going to take exception with your Bobby Petrino take with my Lincoln Riley not being number 1 on that list is absolutely criminal. Think what you want about the guy. He's a douche canoe, but he gets the most out of guys, quarterbacks.
Well, and here's one to fire up Conard. At number 42, Kendall Briles at TCU. I would have Kendall Briles up a little higher on that.
Yeah, I mean, if people in Arkansas wouldn't have run him out of town.
If they'd give him a chance.
Give him a chance. Maybe he could brought his dad in as a consultant, and he could have worn Hogs gear on the sideline.
Well, and like number 14, AJ Milwee from Texas. That's Sark's coaching up the quarterbacks there on the 40.
Yeah, that'd be like having USC's quote unquote offensive coordinator as on that list when we all know.
Yeah. Joey Halsley at Tennessee. He's a former OU backup coaching.
That's right.
Josh Heupel. So,
hey, did you see that? The Milton kid. Not Milton. Oh, who's the big kid from Tennessee that ended up at the Patriots, drafted in the 6th round? Joe Milton. Yeah, that was Joe Milton, the quarterback from Tennessee. Okay. They're talking about he might start for the Patriots day one because he is just blowing them away in workouts.
Have you seen some of the clips this week of Trey Lance in Dallas Cowboy workouts?
Everyone's better than Dak.
Oh, Lord. And they showed one where he just stared down a linebacker.
He hit him right between him.
Right to his number. And then he's pick 6. They're like, oh, man. You talk about fleecing a team on a trade. Man.
Yeah.
What was he picked 3rd or 4th in the draft?
Do you remember what was going on leading up to that, though? Limited scouting and COVID. And he played one game his last year of college, and it was in the spring, and then they drafted him 3rd overall. Yeah, he's from NDSU.
But he did have a season under his belt there, right?
Yeah, one.
Yeah. What was that? Was that a deal where the FCS played?
They played in the spring, or he only played in one game his last year.
Man, that was weird times, Jeremy.
It was crazy times. And he got a number 3 overall pick, nice contract, and has done nothing.
Yeah. Well, it's scary how bad things could be in Arlington before you know it. But anyways, I don't know if I share all in. But they did start the NFL last night, Jeremy, with the Hall of Fame game. It was rain shortened, and the Bears beat the Texans. Yeah. So no.
Yeah, I know.
CJ Stroud, no Caleb Williams. I ended up missing all of it. I actually intended to watch a bit of it, but they did unveil the new dynamic kickoff, and that's 9 kinds.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
I mean, and I think, I don't know, I won't mess with pulling it up. I don't want to get into trademark issues or something like that, but it's really stupid. And how about we go back to kickoffs from the 20? Some games.
20.
Well, what
30.
was it?
It was at the 40, and they were just kicking it through the end zone every time, which is preferable to watching that.
Where was it at in the days when like Devin Hester could run one back?
I think it was at the 30. I want to say it was at the 30 because they're kicking off from the 35 now, but they moved it up to the.
So in essence,
maybe
they're
the
saying if
35.
your kicker can send it 70 yards, we'll down it in the end zone. But other than that, we're going to run it back at your face.
Yep.
And so, I mean, just you think of some of the great plays made.
It just takes a really exciting moment from a game. What about that Super Bowl that the Bears lost to the Colts?
Yeah.
Opening kickoff, Devin Hester takes it 102 yards back to the house.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What a way to start a Super Bowl. Now we're going to kick it. It's going to look like a zone read play from the end zone, and they're going to have the ball at the 25 anyways. Just call it fair catch.
It reminds me of Sarcastaball on South Park.
Yeah, they should just go to the college rule, and if it's a short kick, you can call it fair catch. You get the ball at the 25.
Yeah,
that's it. Just there you go. But no.
Well, and then also the limited playoff or limited preseason games and the less, the less hitting. I mean, you're taking opportunity away from dudes to really shine in an aspect where coaches used to want people to shine to see if they can make a roster.
Well, the Bears and the Texans are playing 4 preseason games, and a 17-game schedule.
Yeah. It's dumb.
I mean, nobody that's going to start a game this year, outside of injury, played last night.
Yeah.
Which made for some real exciting football. Let me tell you, I love watching Davis Mills versus
I was going to throw
who started for the Bears. The the kid from Shepherd College.
Oh,
No, huh?
What is his name? Agent or?
Oh, Tyler Bagent.
Magent. Yeah. Sorry. Hey,
It's not what I tuned in for. It was like, hey, Caleb Williams didn't paint his fingernails. I guess I can go to bed now. That was it.
Did you hear Amani Toomer going after Caleb Williams on one of the talk shows?
He is going to be peer pressured and bullied into acting like a normal human.
So if you're wondering what we're talking about, there was a talk show, I think it was on Fox Sports, where former New York Giant great receiver Amani Toomer is talking about Caleb Williams, and just kind of I don't know what the deal was, but basically he's not real thrilled with the condition of the Chicago Bears locker room, and kind of admonished his teammates that we need to clean this place up a little bit or something.
That's not a rookie's place.
That's not a rookie's place. I don't care if you are the number one draft pick. You come in and you you clean it up. Whatever happened to the whole concept of the hey rookie. But anyways, I don't know. NFL could be great this season. It could be a mixed bag, but I'll tell you what, your number one draft pick receiver for your Kansas City Chiefs was sure getting pushed around in camp the other day.
Yeah, we know he's light in the rear end. He weighs 170 stinking pounds, and they're trying to run him over the middle. What are you doing, Andy?
He got pushed around a lot and got pushed off the block, and then it was not pretty.
But if he can get a free release, though, no one's going to catch him.
Yeah. Here's something on On3 Twitter, and it says Texas football players Isaiah Bond and Michael Taff have landed Lamborghini NIL deals. So looks like Bond went with the SUV hybrid crossover thing. So,
oh wow,
I'm
how responsible.
As a country, people are constantly up in arms about kids' access to firearms and things like that. I'm just saying, not near the prevalence, but you really should consider giving young men
supercars.
You should weigh heavily performance automobiles and what they're.
Have you guys seen what's going on at Georgia? Have they seen what's going on at Georgia?
Yeah, and
they put governors on those things so they can't go over 60.
And with the Chiefs too, I mean.
Did you see the tweet? Jake, oh gosh, the blind kid that was at USC, the long snapper.
Yeah.
You remember him? He tweeted out, if I was at Georgia, they'd let me drive to practice.
Oh,
and a picture of him with his in uniform with his dog, his seeing eye dog, and let out the snap. That's so just bad. I mean, I that's. I wasn't aware of his game. That was pretty good.
And that's a guy I haven't heard of in a long time, really, since he was deep snapping. But all right,
Pete Carroll was the coach then.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not watching the Olympics really, but I have been kind of keeping up with things, and then on social media. Did you know of this Katie Ledecky Michael Jordan connection?
No.
Apparently, she was a kid, and her father or adopted father, some connection to her was involved with the Bullets or the Wizards.
Oh yeah.
And there's video of like her as a little kid sitting in a box and Jordan playing peekaboo with her. Now it's
greatness rubbed off.
GOAT versus GOAT.
Yep, there you go.
And just so everybody knows, Michael Jordan is the GOAT basketball player.
Undisputed.
Sad news on the baseball front, and really pretty sad that I wasn't able to reach out in time to John Moore from the Rangers baseball podcast. But I saw today, Jeremy, where Mike Trout is out for the season with a meniscus tear.
The second one this season.
Yeah.
More people would care if he didn't play in LA.
Oh, I.
Or in Anaheim, because no one sees him play.
Yeah. Yeah. And, he's obviously he's the he's talented. He's got everything, that basically you'd want in a
Can
player.
you imagine if he played for the Cards, the Rangers,
Oh yeah,
Cubs, please,
Brewers,
somewhere
Twins.
that even the Mariners,
Yeah,
the exposure the guy would get. He gets nothing out there.
I mean, really, if you think about it, the Angels are just like Oakland light. They're just,
Oakland with money
exactly.
and no direction.
Yeah.
Got lucky on a couple of guys.
I hate to hear that, but it's a bad deal. Also, in the news, this Sunday ticket ruling, the jury verdict thrown out by a federal judge on the $1.7 billion settlement. I guess people feeling ripped off on their Sunday ticket purchase. Now they're going to have to appeal to a district appeals court. I think it's the ninth.
$4.7 billion.
$4.7 billion. So you got to have some, and I guess he said there was bad methodology to some of the victims' testimony or something like that. And so you got to have some stones to be a federal judge and overturn that, because you're talking about people's football money.
They overcharged subscribers for Sunday ticket for over a decade.
Yeah. Yeah, and the magnitude of the lawsuit might be a little high. I don't know actual figures, but that's a big matzo ball to be throwing out there for overturning a verdict.
I know. I mean, you think they're going to not pay? I mean, they got out of paying all those concussion settlements. What are they going to do with this?
Exactly. All right, so probably time for us to start looking at getting out of here. But what's on your agenda and your plan for the weekend?
Oh, let's see. Got the dishwasher worked on yesterday. Today,
Good to know.
I don't know. Don't
your Cubs beat the Cards last night 5-4, and they are 53-58, currently 5th in the National League Central. St. Louis is first. Any chance your Cubbies could get on a run here, get on a heater? And we froze up. Outstanding every time. All right. He's Jeremy Schroeder. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. We are the Weekend Big Show, powered by Law Dog Sports. Be sure.
There he is.
There he is. I was asking you, any chance your Cubbies make a run here? I didn't pay attention really to what they did in the trade deadline. Froze up again. All right. Let's get on out of here. He's Jeremy Schroeder. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog, and we will be back next Friday, hopefully with a better internet connection. And be sure and tune in for our podcast. You can listen at your convenience on SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon, and Apple Podcasts. He's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airwaves. We want to thank Luke Clement for coming on the show and visiting with us, and good luck to him this season with Wright Media Sports. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. Be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Law Dog Sports, and leave us a message on the website, lawdogsports.com. We will read it on the air. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, and TikTok. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you next week.